be your nurse today. I'm going to go ahead and provide privacy by closing the door, wash my hands, and gather my supplies. Okay? Okay. Close the door, wash my hands. Okay, so today we're going to be performing a head-to-toe physical assessment.
Okay.
It should only take about 15 minutes. Does that sound okay? Yeah. Okay, are you comfortable?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, great. So let's begin. Okay, first I'm going to check and see if you're oriented.
Okay.
What's your name?
I'm Katie.
And your date of birth?
February 25th, 1995.
Okay, let me check your wrist. Okay, your bracelet confirms that you are who you say you are.
Okay.
Okay, so next I'm going to check and see if you're oriented as well. I'm going to see what's today, the day of the week?
Wednesday.
Okay, who's the president?
Obama.
Okay, so patient is alert, conscious, and oriented to person, place, and time. So we're going to move on. I'm going to check your overall hygiene, which looks good. You look clean. Your posture seems normal. No abnormalities there. And your speech is appropriate.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and evaluate your head. We're going to move on to head, eye, ears, nose, and throat.
All right.
Okay, so I'm going to inspect your head for any lumps, lesions, bumps, and parasites. I don't see anything abnormal there.
Okay.
So I'm going to go ahead and inspect your face. I'm going to start off with asking you to raise your eyebrows, smile real big, puff up your cheeks. Okay, now I'm going to touch your face. You're going to tell me which side I'm touching.
Okay.
Close your eyes.
Sure. My left, forehead, cheek, and my right.
Okay, now open your jaw and press against my hand. Okay, and the other side. Okay, perfect. So cranial nerves 5 and 7, your trigeminal and your facial are intact.
Okay.
Okay, so we're going to go on and we're going to assess your eyes.
Okay.
I'm going to be assessing for cranial nerves 2, 3, 4, and 6, as well as perla. But first I'm going to see if there's any redness or discharge, and I don't see anything like that. So I'm going to go ahead and check your pupillary response to the light. Okay. Both eyes constrict to the light as I shine the light in your eyes. Okay, now I'm going to ask you to follow my pen.
Okay.
Okay, so pupils are equal, round, reactive to light and accommodation. So I'm going to ask you to stand up.
Sure.
Okay, I want you to cover your right eye and tell me when you see my finger.
I see it.
You see it? See it? And see it. Okay, opposite eye.
Sure.
I see it. See it. See it. And see it. Okay, perfect. Go ahead and take a seat.
Sure.
So cranial nerves 2, 3, 4, and 6, as well as perla, are intact.
Okay.
So we're going to move on. I'm going to check your mouth for your mucous membranes and your overall dentition.
Sure.
So go ahead and open your mouth and stick out your tongue. Say ah. Okay, your uvula is midline, your tongue is midline, your dentition looks good. Everything's normal there.
All right.
So I'm going to go ahead and check your nose. I'm going to be checking for any deviations in shape, any discharge, and I'm going to check for patency as well. So go ahead and lift your head. Okay, I don't see any deviations in shape, no discharge, everything like that looks good. So go ahead and plug one nostril and breathe in, and the opposite. Okay, so patency is fine.
Okay.
Next, I'm going to assess your ears.
All right.
I'm going to be assessing for any lesions, any discharge, and also for your hearing.
All right. Sure.
So I'm going to go ahead and pull up and back and look in, and I see your tympanic membrane. It's nice and pearly white.
Okay.
And your opposite, up and back. See in there, tympanic membrane again. Everything looks good. So I'm going to test you for hearing.
Okay.
I want you to close your eyes and tell me what you hear on which side.
All right. My left and your fingers, maybe. Okay. And my right and same thing.
Okay, perfect. So cranial nerve 8, your acoustic is intact, as well as everything's normal with your ears.
All right. Perfect.
Next, I'm going to palpate your lymph nodes.
Okay.
I'm going to start with your submental, submandibular, tonsillar, preauricular, postauricular, occipital, posterior cervical, deep cervical, anterior cervical, and supraclavicular. Okay, so no abnormalities there. Everything looks good, and that concludes our head, eye, ears, nose, and throat assessment. So I'm going to go ahead and move on to your thorax and lungs.
All right.
Okay, so just looking at you now, your AP to lateral ratio looks 1 to 2, which is completely normal. You don't seem to be using any accessory muscles. You're not coughing. Your rate, rhythm, and depth of your breathing is completely normal.
Okay.
So I'm going to go ahead and assist, go to the other side and assist your spine.
Sure.
Okay, I'm going to have you lean over a little bit, please.
All right.
Okay, so your spine is straight. Everything looks good there. Now I'm going to test for your AVA or CVA, your costovertebral angle tenderness, and you can tell me if you feel any pain. Okay, perfect. So next I'm going to test for thoracic expansion.
Okay.
Go ahead and breathe in deep for me. Okay, symmetric and there's no vibrations or anything abnormal there. So I'm going to go ahead and auscultate for your breath sounds.
Okay.
I'm going to do 6 posterior, 6 anterior, and 2 axillary on both sides.
Sure.
Okay. Starting up top. Breathe in deep, please. Okay. Again. Okay, and again. Perfect. And again. Okay, now axillary. Perfect. Other side. Okay, now I'm going to come to the front.
Okay.
I'm going to start up top. Breathe in deep for me, please. Okay. Your frontal lobe. Okay. Okay, 2 more. Okay, perfect. Everything seems normal, so that's going to conclude our thorax and lung assessment. I'm going to go ahead and move on to your heart and vessels.
Okay.
First, I'm going to feel your carotid pulse, 1 time on each side. Okay, it's symmetric, it's strong, 2+, very good pulse. And now I'm going to listen to your heart sounds. Okay? So I'm going to start in your second intercostal space, right sternal border, your aortic area. Second intercostal space, left sternal border, pulmonic area. Erb's point, left sternal border, third intercostal space. Thoracic area, fourth intercostal space, left sternal border. And mitral area, midclavicular, also left sternal border. Okay, heart sounds sound great, nice and strong. That concludes our heart and vessels. Next, we're going to move on to the abdomen. So I'm going to have you lay down, please. Okay, so just looking at your abdomen right now, I see that everything looks flat. There's no distension, no protuberant signs or anything like that. So I'm going to go ahead and auscultate for your bowel sounds.
Okay.
And all in 4 quadrants. Okay, I'm going to start in your right upper quadrant. Your left upper quadrant, your left lower quadrant, and your right lower quadrant. Okay, next I'm going to ask you about your bowel movements.
Mm-hmm.
Do you move your bowels frequently, regularly?
Yeah.
Any pain or
No.
anything like that? Okay, and how about your urination? You urinate?
Same thing. It's pretty regular.
Okay, perfect. Next I'm going to palpate for your abdomen and also in all 4 quadrants.
Sure.
I'm going to start again in your right upper quadrant, your left upper quadrant, left lower quadrant, right lower quadrant. Okay, so there's no distension or tenderness or anything like that. Was there any pain?
No.
Okay, so everything seems normal, so you can go ahead and sit up.
Sure.
Okay, that concludes our abdomen area assessment. So next we are going to move on to musculoskeletal.
Sure.
Okay, so looking at you now, I don't see any lesions or any deformities or anything like that. So I'm going to go ahead and check your temperature. Your temperature feels normal. Everything feels good there. So I'm going to go ahead and check for edema.
Okay.
No edema. Nothing there. I'm going to check for your capillary refill.
All right.
I'm going to check your fingers. Okay, so your blood seems to flow back in within 2 to 3 seconds, which is normal. Okay, so next I'm going to assess for your gait and balance.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to have you stand up.
Sure.
Okay, stand on the opposite side of the room. I'm going to have you walk towards me, heel to toe.
Okay.
Okay, so your gait looks good. I'm going to have you stand right there with your ankles together.
Okay.
And next I'm going to test for balance. I want you to close your eyes. I'm going to try to throw you off balance a little bit and see how you adjust to that, okay? Okay, perfect. So that's good. So next I'm going to test your range of motion.
Okay.
So I'm going to ask you to move your head to the left, right, perfect. So all range of motion seems good.
Okay.
I'm going to test your strength, so if you can sit back down. Have you hold your arms out. I'm going to push down, you fight against me, and up. Okay, hold your arms like this. Okay, and back. Okay, now push your legs up. And down. Okay. Now push up, foot, here, and push on the gas pedal. Okay, your strength seems great. So next I'm going to test for your cranial nerve 11, your spinal accessory. So I'm going to have you push against my hand with your head. And the other side. And your shoulders. Push down. Alright, perfect. So cranial nerve 11 is intact.
Okay.
Okay, so now I'm going to check your reflexes.
Alright.
Okay. So I'm going to start off with your triceps.
Okay.
And dangle your arm nice and loose for me. Okay. And your biceps. Brachioradialis. Same thing on the opposite arm. Biceps. Brachioradialis. Talar. And Achilles. And now plantar. Okay, everything's normal there. So now I'm going to go ahead and check your pulses.
Sure.
I'm going to check your medial pulse first. Okay, and your brachial. Your popliteal. Tibial. Gyrotibial. And your dorsalis pedis. Okay, awesome. I think that is pretty much it. That concludes our session. Everything seems normal there. I'm going to go ahead and document my findings and wash my hands